Welcome to the Terrible Podcast with your hosts from SteelersDepot.com, where you can find all your latest and greatest Steelers news. It's Dave Bryan and Alex Kozora, always lit, talking Steelers. And now, here's Dave and Alex.
Welcome to the Terrible Podcast, another special edition of the Terrible Podcast, Pittsburgh Steelers Training Camp 2019. It is Tuesday night, August the 6th. It is 6:15 out here in Las Vegas. It is 9:15 out where my co-host and partner in crime, Alex Kozora, is just outside of Pittsburgh, fresh off of another trip to Latrobe. Alex, happy Tuesday. It's Hard Knocks night, brother. We got to hurry up with this.
I was just going to ask you, what time does that start? 10 o'clock my time?
Yeah, I think 45 minutes from now. All right, thanks for listening to the Terrible Podcast. I'm not missing this tonight. I will not have my schedule. I'm DVRing it, so if I'm a few minutes late, I can catch up quickly. But
where's Ben Roethlisberger? I saw
it should be. Look, I hope I'm not let down, because I really have looked forward to this and the Raiders and being on there and all, especially with all the people, Perfect and Richie Incognito, of course, and heck, Cleveland Farrell and Foster Monroe. I mean, it should be, and John Gruden. It should be a good one. But people are not tuning in tonight, I don't think, to hear about the Oakland Raiders. They want to hear about the Pittsburgh Steelers. And boy, we might have to have two podcasts tonight to cover the housekeeping in one of them, and then cover the injury list in the other. But we'll give it a go and try to get it all knocked out in one just the same here. First and foremost, the team made another roster move earlier in the day, and it included, let me pull up my notes here. Derek Thomas, the cornerback who was just signed really less than a week ago. He was wave injured. Do you remember what, do you know what the injury was with him, Alex?
I don't. Saw him at the Sunday practice, Heinz Field. He walked around, no visible injury, and then gone today. So that's camp life for you. I
guess he might have been injured then during the Friday night. Didn't he leave the Friday Night Lights practice a little early or something?
I don't think so. I don't think I heard anything about an injury till I saw him without pads for Sunday, but I could be wrong on that.
Well, regardless, he was waived injured earlier today, and signed in his place was free agent cornerback Jermaine Ponder out of St. Francis, PA, and he was just recently let go by the Cleveland Browns after signing with them originally back in May as an undrafted free agent. 6'006", 195 pounds, according to Draft Scout at his pro day. He ran his 40-yard dash, I think, in 4.54 seconds, according to him. Posted a vertical jump of 40 inches and a broad jump of 11 feet 11 inches. Some nice spring in his step there. Haven't really looked. I think he had a 4.21 short shuttle and a 7.03 cone drill. But regardless, he's helped filling out the rest of those lines right now. And as noted, Derek Thomas will probably clear waivers, revert back to IR, and then we'll see whether or not the Steelers work out an injury settlement with him or not. So that part's done. And then after practice today, Mike Tomlin had a long list of people now dealing with ailments, although most of them, or really all of them, I don't think he said what's ailing them. Running back Ralph Webb, and I think you noted that you saw him go in early today. Guard Ramon Foster, running back James Conner, outside linebacker Sutton Smith, cornerback Justin Lane, tight end Trevor Wood, outside linebacker Bud Dupree, and tackle Alejandro Villanueva are all listed as dealing with injuries Tuesday evening by Tomlin. He says a number of guys went down with minor things, and I'll probably have an update for you a little later. He goes on to say later, hopefully they won't be out. Hopefully they'll be in the day-to-day-like variety. So with that, I think you noted that Alejandro Villanueva had a wrap on right shoulder. Is that correct?
Yep, right shoulder.
And hasn't he had a little bit of training camp shoulder issues before?
Yeah, I just pulled up the quote from last year, last August 5th, so almost a year to the day. He said, quote, last year, talking about the recurring shoulder injury suffers kind of every single year. He says, quote, "So it's a very unnatural movement playing on the offensive line and constantly punching. And so every year, usually it's just my body signaling that's a little bit too much and it gets a little overworked. But then in a couple of days, it goes away. I have it every single year. This year, they're just being a little more cautious with it. Probably the same case this year. I kind of wish he would get some more rest days. He did have the Friday Night Lights practice off, but he's 30-something years old. He's an established vet guy. I think it's just natural recurring injuries. He had the ice off by the end of practice. I'm sure Villanueva's going to be just fine.
We're probably not going to see him Friday night, though, right?
Oh, no, I wouldn't really play any starting offensive lineman Friday night. I mean, maybe Filer, but that might be it.
Yeah, I think we'll see Filer maybe, and that might be it there. Ralph Webb don't know, Ramon Foster don't know. James Conner did an interview with I think Michael Irvin after practice was over, and he kind of asked about it, and he didn't give specifics, but it didn't sound too serious there. But the other guys, I would just be guessing as far as what their injuries are. Now, in addition to those players listed by Tomlin. And according to you, I guess Deontay Johnson with a groin did not work. Fullback Roosevelt Nix, undisclosed, did not work. Center Marquise Pouncey was not seen. We think that's a back issue. Cornerback Artie Burns, we think is a groin. Inside linebacker, I think that Vince Williams did maybe a little bit on the side with that hamstring, but nothing much more than that. I guess Sean Davis went through individuals with the finger and then shut it down. Defensive Cameron Hayward, baby. Congratulations to them on their third child. I believe that's their third little girl there. Healthy little girl. So that's why I believe he was out today. And am I missing anybody there?
Nope, I think it's everything. I think it was Burns I said did some jogging on the side. Vince just kind of hung out all day. Sutton Smith, it might be some sort of hip oblique thing. I saw him in the stretch line because he went through at least partial practice today, and he had some sort of big bandage or wrap on like his left hip oblique-ish area, so that might have been something there. It could be something new, but that's the only other information I have for those injuries.
Of all those names, both today and previous injuries, the two guys I think highlighted, Deontay Johnson and Justin Lane, and of course Sutton Smith. Those are three draft picks that we were looking forward to potentially playing in this first preseason game. Obviously, there's time. I don't think Mike Tomlin's going to probably give us a definitive on those guys when he talks to the media on Wednesday before practice. He's probably going to let us know a few guys that definitely won't play, and then he'll use the old, we're going to leave the light on for everybody else to play. So we're probably not going to know until probably right before warm-ups of who's going to go of some of these younger players. But definitely keep your fingers crossed for guys like Johnson. Really Johnson, because, look, Justin Lane, we want to see him and all, but, the notion that he'll be able to contribute early in the year outside of special teams is not really expected. And Sutton Smith obviously has to try to make the team as a special teamer, so it'll be really detrimental if he can't go Friday night as well, too. But I believe that has everybody caught up.
Yep, I think that's the list. We'll let you know what happens tomorrow.
We will transcribe quickly from what Mike Tomlin has to say tomorrow during his press conference before Alex heads out. It'll be about the same time he heads out to training camp, so I think me and Matthew probably be covering that one there. All right, on to what happened during the Tuesday practice. I guess we'll start with the offensive line. JC was back with a knee brace, I think, on, you said, and he was first team left guard. Is that correct?
No, I don't think so. Well, Foster started. I don't know how things finished. Or not, Foster didn't start. Foster had the day off. What was the line today? I'm sorry, I'm getting my own notes.
I thought you had
here.
JC.
No, it's Filer.
Oh, Filer. That's right. Filer at left guard. So it was Villanueva, Filer, Finney, DeCastro, and
a core four
there with the start. All right. Well, what stuck out and JC come in? Who was the backup center then?
Second team was Hawkins, Morris, Hassenauer, Johnson, and Banner. Hawkins stepped in as first team left tackle when Villanueva went down. Yeah, I thought Hassenauer, it's obviously good he's out there competing. Didn't suffer a severe knee injury, but looked a little uncomfortable with that brace, trying to be able to reach block and move laterally. Gerald Hawkins, another tough day for him. I praised him the other day. Thought today was one of his worst days in team drill, maybe just because I got a longer look at him being on the left side, and I just had a better vantage of it. But, everybody killed him. Chick, JT Jones, Adene, I mean, Tuzar Skipper, they all had wins off of Hawkins. So I know there's rust. I know there's probably not complete full health with him, but either way, time's running out for this guy, and he's got to turn it around pretty quick. I know I've said that before, but that's just a major sticking point. You go there and watch practice, you see 65, he's trying, but it's just not working right now.
Do you expect to see him at left tackle at some point then, right? You would think the starting line left to right against the Buccaneers would probably be a core of four, Filer, Finney. You're probably not gonna play DeCastro, right?
No way.
Who's going to be your starting right guard?
I haven't thought about it too much. I would probably go in with expecting Hawkins, Filer, Finney, Fred Johnson, and a core four is my, off the top of my head, guess of the starting five for Sunday, or for Friday's game.
Yeah, Filer would be the right tackle, core four left, right?
No, I have Filer at left guard. I mean, it could be Filer at right tackle.
Yeah, okay. No, I'm sorry. Who's going to be your left tackle then? Hawkins?
Yeah, Hawkins.
Oh,
I mean, I'm
Lord.
just spitball, but I mean, you're not playing Billy, you're not playing Pouncey,
right.
You're not playing DeCastro, you're not playing Foster. Usually whenever you have multiple spots down, Filer's been kicking over to left guard. I mean, they could have Filer at right tackle. I think he's got enough reps there. You want to get a core four looks at tackle. He's played more right than left so far. We'll see. I mean, it could go a variety of different ways, but that's just my off the top of my head speculation.
All right, we'll be on the lookout for that. Anything else stick out with the group offensive linemen today?
Nope, I think that's about it. Just some guys moving around, flipping around a little bit. Derwin Gray's still been quiet. I think he's probably going to be very much ticketed for the practice squad.
And Prince?
Hardly anything from him. Had a couple ugly reps. He barely even gets work in O-line, D-line. He did have a lower body injury at the very, very end of practice today. The last 2 or 3 plays seemed okay after practice, but if he doesn't go tomorrow, he's probably dealing with an ankle or a knee of some sort.
And Morris?
More of the same. He's got some natural strength, but the frame doesn't really support that, and it's too easy for him to get run over, and he has trouble anchoring. Haas now has been playing over him. I thought Morris was a guy that had a combination of strength and mobility coming out of TCU. I just don't see it with him. I think he's a guy that gets pushed around too much on the ground too often. He'll compete. He's got some versatility, some flexibility, but end of the day, this offensive line's deep. It's hard right now to make a strong case for Patrick Morris.
Who are you keeping as your practice squad center, assuming they do keep one, or interior swing guy?
That's a good question. That may still be an open discussion. I think Gray's definitely going to be an inside track for a practice squad spot. I don't know if you keep a center. I mean, you got Pouncey, you got Finney. Filer can do it in a pinch. I don't know. Maybe Morris. I'm not going to totally discount that. That's possible because of the flexibility is nice. Hassenauer's in there too. I think that's going to be determined by preseason performance.
Okay, the quarterbacks. What happened?
Devlin Hodges train. Choo.
Oh, Lord.
Nah, hey, kudos to him. He's played well. He's deserved the opportunity. The numbers he posted kind of reflect that. He got work today in 7 shots in the no huddle. I thought did well in both situations, even though in no huddle they didn't punch the ball in the end zone. Time just simply ran out on them. But I think they're just getting a good look at Hodges in situational football and giving him that longer look that he deserves to do this. Playing well. I can pull up the stats here that I compiled from yesterday, everything from yesterday's practice, the last 9 practices, and they look pretty good. So, again, as I said before, I think he's just better than your average number 4 quarterback.
Any chance whatsoever could anything materialize where they deal Dobbs, or, is that impossible? Do you see any path other than injury?
Yeah, Dobbs would have to get moved. That scenario probably seems unlikely. I think you want Rudolph and Dobbs to battle this thing out and let these guys compete throughout the regular season. It would probably take an injury. But to the point, while Hodges' completion percentage isn't great, he's driving the football down the field. Practice is 5 through 9. The guy's averaging 11.1 yards per completion. That's better than any other quarterback, including Ben, over that span. So the dude's making the most of his chances. He's not just checking it down and getting out of there. The dude's trying to make plays. Had a really good bullet pass today in the no-huddle session to Kevin Rader over the middle for a 15-yard gain. So this guy's got a live arm. He's willing to take chances. He'll go through some of his progressions. He will get caught staring sometimes, but overall, an athlete, mobility, I think he's a guy that can make a play or two in the preseason if he gets the chance.
You don't think they'd give him a full fourth quarter Friday night, do you?
No, a drive at most. 4th preseason game, maybe you get him a full 4th quarter. But it's Rudolph and Dobbs. Those are the guys you invested in, and those are the guys you got to evaluate.
All right. What's been your number one complaint about Rudolph so far?
Not driving the football down the field enough, kind of taking the easy play. And I get you want to take the easy play, you want to make a profit. I understand that. I don't want to criticize that too much, but there's a point where you got to grip it and rip it. Now he did have a good completion today, I think, to Griffey down the left sideline, which is good. He's starting to air it out a little bit more, but 6.8 yards per completion overall in the first 9 practices. That's worst of any of the 4 quarterbacks here. And then just kind of fading a little bit. I think maybe that grind's getting to him. Again, had that decent start. Last couple of practices have been much worse. Did not have a great practice. I wouldn't say today. Okay, but not great. So you just want to see this guy's strain to the finish line, and Rudolph seems to be pulling up a little bit short.
I seem to remember when I charted off the depth. The passing charts last year during the preseason, that the initial thing with Rudolph was he was not pressing the football down the field until later on in the preseason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's a similar story right now. So I get it. I mean, you want to make the smart play, not turn the football over. He's been efficient, but you can't just check down your way, 50 yards, 60 yards down the field. You got to grip it and rip it once or twice.
Is he just being too cautious, you think? He pushed it at Oklahoma State,
Sure, different system. I think it allowed that, create one-on-one matchups, easier reads. I mean, it is tough to say watching it live because you're not getting to see the whole coverage. You're just seeing these things super quick. And he's had chances to throw downfield, and he's taken some opportunities. I'm just kind of looking at the numbers of it. So it's hard to say. But, I am a little worried about lack of ability that he has and kind of the cautious nature he's played with. It probably doesn't translate too well to preseason football.
All right, we'll definitely see starting Friday night there. Okay, running back position.
Fairly quiet today. Obviously, some injuries at the position. Ralph Webb's been doing really well in my stats category for the camp, all 9 practices. The guy has 19 carries, 111 yards. It's 5.8 yards per carry. So hopefully that injury to him isn't too major. Really just more of the same. I think Snell's done well. Malik Williams has shown up once or twice. Without Rosie Nix a fullback today, I thought Sutton Smith would get a look there, but he didn't. No offensive snaps for Sutton Smith today. Kevin Rader was the backup / starting fullback with Nix out. Had a decent day there, but not a whole lot to note with the running backs today. I thought Trayvon McMillan, his hands are pretty suspect, so that's one thing that's going to hurt him.
All right, wide receiver. Dante's still dealing with that finger, obviously. We don't expect to see him, I don't think. Probably not going to see Juju Friday night either. Probably going to see some Switzer and Eli. And tell me about that group.
Well, Dante Moncrief was in 7 shots today, so he's getting back in team. So he's really close. So he's basically there. So you're not going to see him Friday, I agree. But just the injury note there, he's basically all the way back. Trey Griffey probably had the play of the day. A nice diving catch, 42-yard gain down the left sideline. I believe Rudolph threw that, but a full extension for Griffey to come down and complete the catch to the ground. Deontay Spencer burned Brian Allen twice today. Unfortunately, Dobbs couldn't find him either time. One was overthrown, one was a little underthrown and broken up by Brian Allen. But I said it before, Spencer's speed is real, and this dude, as long as the quarterback can throw him a good ball, is going to catch a 50-yard plus touchdown in the preseason. I can almost guarantee you that.
What kind of separation is he getting, and how deep?
A lot. He's getting a lot of separation, and especially vertical, because that speed is just eats up those cushions so quick. And I know Brian Allen isn't the fastest cornerback in the world, but he's got some speed and a long stride. This guy can definitely create space, especially over the top. So if he can just get one clean release, as a Z receiver, a bunt set or something, and hit some poor, unsuspecting rookie corner, because obviously these rookie corners, they don't know what the opposition is. They aren't studying these guys. You're just going in and playing ball. You're not used to seeing 4.3 speed, and Spencer's going to surprise some poor, unsuspecting corner.
So you predict a double explosive play.
You called your shot yesterday, Dave. I'm calling my shot today. Yep, double explosive play for Deontay Spencer as a receiver at least once in the preseason.
I like it, and maybe he'll return one as well, too.
So,
all right, what do we have at tight end?
Yeah, fairly quiet. Some injuries there, too, with Trevor Wood going down, apparently. Kevin Rader was pretty active today. Hand's still a little suspect, but was active today.
Scotty was back.
Scotty was back.
You're becoming quite the groin whisperer. I'm proud of you.
All right, that's in my resume.
Dances with groins.
All right. Let's not go there. But I knew those injuries to those guys were minor, and they certainly were. Quiet day, I thought, for Scotty. Did he work in team? I think he worked in team, but I don't know if he had a target even today. But Kevin Rader was active today. That's about all I got. Vance had a drop. A couple of drops for Vance, but we do remember his hands from San Francisco days weren't great. So that's going to happen with him sometimes.
All right, I guess we'll flip over to the other side of football. Obviously, Cam not there today. Tell us what I mean. It's pretty well sorted itself out. Probably the way we expected to sort itself out to date.
It is. I don't think there's really been any huge surprises. Just encouraged by the play of McCullers, encouraged by the play of Buggs. And Buggs, well, I'm sure some guys were getting rest at the end of practice today, got work with the first team in that no-huddle session. Him and Big Dan were the nickel defensive linemen, so I think that's just a product of and a reward of Buggs' improvement and getting those first-team reps. So he continues to play well. Been happy with him. And I think he's going to be the sixth guy, and Tim McCullers will be the fifth guy. So, injuries obviously can shake something up, but I think you have your six right now.
We'll see a lot of hooks.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, you'll see hooks. You'll see Casey Sales will get a lot of playing time, a little bit of Greg Gilmore, Henry Mondo. Buggs, of course, is going to play a ton, as he should. We'll see how he looks in a game. Maybe if he can translate these good practices to games. But I think this is a guy that's going to get a lot of pressures, and maybe his first sack, even Friday, I could see it happening.
What do you think's going on with Bud Dupree?
I don't know. These linebackers can be weird. Barron and Bud are just weird. They're in and out. He looked okay. He was out there early today, I believe. He was in 7 shots, so he went through part of practice. They might just want to be super cautious with him, but it is frustrating. This is a tough guy. This guy's played through a lot of injuries, but it just seems like there's always something nagging him, and that seems to kind of hold him back.
All right, so the starting outside linebackers on Friday night, Chick and Ola?
Yep. Left, Ola would probably be right and Chick would probably be left. So I think that's how it's going to go with Sutton Smith, Skipper, JT Jones rotating in after.
Boy, is this thing setting up any better for Ola? I mean, you want a chance to show us what you can do. He's gonna get his chance to show, and not against some furniture movers along the way. I'm sure he'll be going against, but there might be a starting left tackle or two that he has to face for a few snaps here and there. But you would expect him to, whoever he lines up against Friday night, to have some success against the way he's gone so far in camp, right?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. If he doesn't, it'll be a disappointment. Tuzar Skipper, one quick note for him, kind of similar to Ola, where I think he's good going forward, going backward in the coverage drills, a little stiff hip, change of direction stuff is going to be an issue for him, but that's not a surprise. He was, like most college guys, going forward at Toledo, and going backwards not going to be his forte.
Who's the most athletic of those two, Ola and Tuzar?
Going backwards?
Just overall. And dropping. Probably Ola, right?
Yeah, Ola. I think he's got better bend around the edge, so in that sense, the athleticism, the hip and ankle flexion. Going backwards, maybe Ola. The year of experience certainly helps. Just being in that system certainly can't hurt, but they're not good at it. Not very good. I'll put it that way.
I hope guys like JT Jones and Tuzar take their vitamins Friday morning.
In terms of them playing a lot of snaps.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sutton Smith, too. Sutton Smith can drop. He's the most fluid of those backups. And JT Jones is a good athlete, too. JT Jones is probably the best athlete, with Sutton Smith a close second, and then the other guys are more power, Tuzar and Ola.
Tuzar going to probably be on the right?
Yeah, I think I'm trying to think in my head right now how it's gone. Yeah, Sutton Smith probably left, Tuzar right. JT Jones has played more left than right, so something like that.
And Sutton just flipping? What side has he mostly been on?
He's played both. I'm pretty sure he's played more left. I'll have to go back to my notes, but I think you'll see like Sutton Smith, JT Jones, a left outside linebacker, and Tuzar right outside linebacker.
All right.
Second half for those guys. I'm giving Ola a whole half at least to let him work, get a long look at him.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And like I said though, JT Jones and Tuzar, boy, those guys are going to be looking for some Gatorade, I think. By the time the end of the fourth quarter rolls around there. But look, I hope they get a lot of burn. I'd like to see them.
Me too.
For sure. All right, inside linebacker. You think Barron's going to play any Friday night?
Nah, probably not. I think I back off because his practice reps have kind of been limited up and down. He did practice in full today, but I'm giving Bush a lot of time. I don't know. It's a good question. Vince almost certainly won't play, and maybe you want to put Bush next to an established vet and just kind of see how they communicate. So yeah, maybe you get Barron.
Bush and Tyler?
Yeah, they haven't really even worked together that much. It's been such a rotation with the top three. Okay, so I'll change my answer slightly. I'll give Barron 2 or 3 drives, and let's see how he works on his own, and then how he works with Devin Bush, and just kind of see how that communication element works. So yeah, as long as he's good health wise, I'll give Bush's. How much you playing Bush? That's playing him a half. How do you do that with the first round pick that you want to count on, but of course you want to get a look at too?
Yeah, I'm not going to live in my fears, Alex.
You're going a half?
I'm going a half with him.
All right.
I don't. Do I think he'll play that long? Probably not. But
You think a quarter?
probably a little more than a quarter. Probably at least 3 series, 3 to 4 series, probably.
That's fair. I think I do Barron and Bush for 3 series and then pull them.
I mean, that sounds about right, possibly, because you got a few other linebackers you want to get some burn to, right?
Yeah, you'll have the next two. They've kind of flipped, but you'll definitely see Medikevich either with Spillane or to grayscales, and then the third team will be Gilbert the third and either who didn't get second team of Spillane or T grayscales.
Yeah, Gilbert better get a good night's rest as well, right?
Yeah, he's going to be active special teams. This guy can play though. I mean, I don't want to get too hyperbolic about this whole situation, but Gilbert has the traits of someone that can play in the NFL. The change of direction ability to close, make plays on the football, process, attack the run, find the football, play clean. I mean, there's some baseline stuff where you sit there and say, hey, this guy stays on the right track and works at it and has a good football IQ. This guy can stick in the NFL and make an impact not only on special teams but on defense. Not this year, but 2-3 years down the road, it's possible. It could be a little better version of LJ Fort, perhaps.
Yeah, and as I've said several times, the guy I'm really interested in kind of trying to hone in on, because I just didn't see it all. And probably the game selection had a lot to do with it and all. I mean, yes, we do sit around and watch a lot of tape during the off season, but I mean, there's so much tape to watch, and we have to keep content flowing. You just can't get it, can't get to it all and all. But I want to see some of the things that you were talking about.
Yeah, and I agree. I mean, his Akron tape wasn't perfect. I mean, I wasn't even super impressed with his Akron tape, to be perfectly honest with you. I was just like, not my favorite prospect, but I think in camp, wipe that slate clean. Dude's done well. Spillane can make some plays in coverage, too, even though he's not a great athlete.
All right, cornerback.
Cam Sutton continues to be around the football. I think at least 2 breakups today, 1 in 7 shots, 1 later on a throw down the middle for Juju. Joe Hayden, I thought, probably had his best day. Not that it means too much because it's Joe Hayden and the dude's going to be fine, but pretty active day for him. And Lane going down was unfortunate. So I think even Ponder might have even gotten reps in team today, just getting thrown to the fire right away. So we'll see if he gets to play on Friday.
They're going to look like a Chinese fire drill out there, ain't it?
Yeah, it's going to be a lot. I don't even know what you go with Friday for your starters. I mean, no Hayden. Nelson, I don't think I'd play Nelson. Maybe a series. Hilton, I prefer to keep Hilton healthy, ready to go.
Do you start? Yeah. Do you let Sutton start on the outside?
Yeah, you probably have.
Sutton and Allen.
If
Artie sits.
If Artie can play, he's going to play a ton. Artie and Allen on the outside. If Artie can't go, probably Sutton. But then you're going to run nickel, so Sutton's going to get kicked inside, I assume. So I don't know how that's going to go. It's going to be a little messy.
And there's not much behind that.
Yeah, I don't even know who's your third team slot corner. Ooh, I'm trying to think about that. Askew Henry at safety might roll down. I don't even know who the third team guy might be. It had been Cameron Kelly, but he's going to play a lot of safety. I don't know. I'm rambling at this point, but we'll see how it goes.
All right. Speaking of safety, they have Marcus Allen listed, which means absolutely nothing. You can tell us more than anybody else can, but they have him listed as a backup free safety behind Sean Davis. Sean Davis is not going to play Friday night. How much? You probably want to get Edmonds a little bit of playing time, I would think. Not long, but who's going to be that next group that comes in? It's got to be Kelly, second team free safety, right?
Well, Kelly's going to be first team free safety.
Or
he's
first team, and probably some second team too.
Yeah, he'll play a lot, so he'll be in there with the second team. Yeah, Edmonds might go 2 series, maybe the 3 series with Bush and Barron. Then Kelly's going to be free safety. Marcus Allen probably come in to replace Edmonds. You'll have Kelly and Allen out there for a long time, and then probably Dangerfield and maybe Marcellus Branch as your next 2, and then Askew Henry getting some looks in there a little bit later on with P.J. Locke. But Dangerfield and Kelly, you talk about 2 dogs, 1 bone, the famous Tomlin saying. These guys might be fighting this whole time for it, because both guys have really elevated their play. Kelly obviously got the opportunity, but they're both making plays now. Kelly had a breakup on Sunday's practice, had a breakup today. Dangerfield had a breakup and a pick today too. I mean, these guys are both just elevating each other, and one guy makes a play, the other dude makes a play right after that. So that's going to be one of the most entertaining battles to watch, how they perform on special teams. Obviously, Dangerfield is a good special teams player. Let's see how Kelly does. But on defense, they're both making splash plays, and Kelly obviously has a really interesting skill set to make some big-time plays patrolling center field.
Who's going to be our gunners?
For week 1 in Foxborough?
No,
Or for
preseason.
We're really getting knee-deep into this. I don't even know. Brian Allen and Sutton. I had some gunner notes today, but they're rotating so many guys in. I mean, I have today Ponder, Kelly, Riley, Cam Sutton working at gunner, but there were several others that I didn't note. It might be Cameron Kelly and Brian Allen. I'm not quite sure. Brandon Riley perhaps might get a mix in there too.
You think Kelly can play a little bit of special teams?
He better. They're going to find out. I know he's going to start. I mean, that's a guy, talk about the vitamin, this guy's going to be playing a lot of snaps. They're in Pittsburgh, right?
Right.
Okay. What the weather's going to be like Friday, it's probably going to be muggy if any of these days are any indication, so cramping's going to be an issue. But yeah, I mean, I think Kelly's going to have to get a look. He's not going to start, obviously, at free safety, and if you're a backup safety, you better play special teams. I mean, that's just that's the default position.
All right, what's left over? Return lines?
Yeah, the same stuff. Nothing new there. I saw Trey Edmonds getting some work as the PP, the personal protector on the punt team. Thought Ian Berryman's got a big leg. Barry has a little more hang time, a little better there. I have the notes and numbers in the diary today, but I think Berryman's capable of giving Barry a push. But I know this team really values placement and hang time over everything else, so we'll have to see what Berryman does with that. And I don't mean to pick on him too much, but I was thinking about it today. Who is number 91 on this roster? You had to list them all 1 to 91. Who's just the guy that you almost kind of forget exists? For me, it's Connor Sheehy, the defensive end. Very, very quiet for him, unfortunately.
I'd like to think of maybe P.J. Locke.
Yeah, Locke could be there. At least Locke's made a couple plays. I mean, I sometimes have to remind myself who 61 is. That's how little I see of him and the little impact he makes.
Wow. Okay, what are we missing?
I think that's everything. Len Testa, I want to thank touringplans.com for their continued support of the site. Tim Rice, who took some great photos. I think he's done for the year for us. He's obviously coming up a couple hours away from the Baltimore area, so I appreciate them. Go to touringplans.com if you're going to book a trip to Disney. They'll help you get squared away, and just appreciate all the support, kind words, people that meet me at camp. I do appreciate that. It's always nice meeting people, talking Steelers football, and just camp's been great. Weather's been awesome, and we'll finish it up tomorrow before Friday's game.
Absolutely. You'll be out there again, and we'll cover the Mike Tomlin press conference that happens earlier in the day, and you and I will return on Wednesday night to recap what you observe out there at Saint Vincent College in Latrobe. You can follow me on Twitter at Steelers Depot. Follow Alex Kozora on Twitter at Alex_Kozora. Follow the show at Terrible Podcast. Email the show, theterriblepodcast@gmail.com. If you want to donate to the cause, please go to SteelersDepot.com and hit the donate button upper right navigational bar. And as always, thanks for listening to the Terrible Podcast with Dave and Alex.